Evening, Clayton.
I better turn my mic on.
Yeah,
Good
turn your mic
evening.
back on there, buddy.
So I got to tell everybody because I'm kind of excited. I just checked out the website gunsin701.com. And
Yep.
T, you are the man. It's working. We got a live feed on our website. So you could just go right to the website. It lands right on that page and you can see it live. So awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, Doug sent me a text too. He said it was on. I don't think there's a chat there yet. I'm not, but
No, it
hey,
don't
good
look
evening,
like it.
Shiloh.
It looks like if you, well, here, I'm looking at it right now just to see. So if you can watch the chat, but you can't chat from it. But so anyway, we got it going. Hey, good evening, everybody. But before we go too far, we're going to start things out like we always do right here with our Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And
Boom.
I can tell you right now, after everything I've seen since the elections and last night's failure, it's going to get pretty bad, guys. It's going to get pretty
Oh
bad.
yeah. Oh yeah. We're not we don't have much to cheer you up with when it comes to that sort of thing either. But we got to do it, right? Evening,
We got
Brian.
to, yep, we got to be there. So, anyway, we got a busy show for you tonight. Like I said, go to www.gunsin701.com and you can definitely catch the live show there now. We also are on Twitter. We have a brand new Twitter feed. If I remember right, what is it? Just Guns in the 701,
At
Jamie?
Guns on the 701. Yep.
There you go. And we're broadcasting live there too. So we want to thank our sponsors as we always do. We want to thank Lauer Auto Repair and Exhaust 258-6308. And of course, the Blind Guy, Custom Window Coverings at 701-222-3932. And I'll tell you what, you can't find more patriotic guys than those two
No, and gals.
businesses. And gals, yeah. Tammy, hi, if you're listening. Go in there and tell them you heard it on Guns in the 701 because they want to hear from you just as we do. And we want to make sure we keep good patriots like that in business because I can tell you right now, there's plenty of commies out there we're doing business with. So
Yeah.
So at least we got two places you don't have to do that.
Yep. Well, I talked to another place today. I'm not going to say just when yet, but if we do something with them, he was a great, whether he's with us or not, that business is a good Second Amendment guy and a good conservative. So
Great.
we got
Sounds
Vance
good.
and Kevin and Dan Brown. Hey, Dan, good to see you,
Dan,
buddy.
good to see you over there in Dickinson. And hey, speaking of that, I got to give one quick plug. So
Yep.
next week, coming up on Thursday, we're going to be doing a special, everybody. And we're going to be doing it with Here's the Deal with Luke Simons and Shiloh Kilmer. And we're going to be doing a deal with Andrew Kilmer. Yeah, sorry.
Not Val
we're gonna
Kilmer,
be doing,
not Shiloh Kilmer.
not Kilmer.
Why?
I think I did that one other time.
Yeah.
So what we're going to be doing is talking with Cord Cordnoy. If you guys don't know Cord, that was Courtney is his name, but he's a great guy. He's got an FFL dealer, Class 3. A lot of things happening. We got a bill coming up, more than one, in this legislature. It's going to deal with NFA, National Firearms Act, and a lot of stuff that's going on with that particular issue right now. What's happening is ATF is now trying to regulate, being they can't legislate. And as I always say, what is it, Jamie?
When Democrats lose, they change the rules.
Change the rules, and that's what they're doing. So, but we want to highlight that. That's coming up 7 p.m. Mountain Time. On Here's the Deal. We're going to do it. So we're going to try to simultaneously do like we did one other time. It'll be on YouTube. On our stuff, it'll be on their stuff, and hopefully we can live stream this all at once. We'll see. Something new again. We're going to be trying something.
Yep. Awesome.
Well, let's get started. What do you want to lead off with? I think
last Friday, Clay and I were on with Todd Mitchell, Mitchell in the morning on KFYR 550 AM, which we are every Friday at 8:40. And we talked some Christmas gifts right there. It is. That's a nice looking logo. Yep. We were talking some Christmas gifts or stocking stuffers for, the hunter, shooter, Second Amendment supporter. And, well, we kind of got sidetracked a little bit because Clay and I both had a pretty good list of stuff. So I think we're gonna continue with that for a little bit here, Clay, since Christmas is a couple weeks out here. And
there we go, right there.
There's one right there. I tell you what.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
I like it. Okay, so yeah, I think last week I'll just a quick summary of the two things that I mentioned to Todd. It was electronic shooting muffs and my recommendations for on the affordable end were the Peltor 6S and the Howard Light Impact Sport, because I own both of those, and I actually owned a cheaper brand than that. And I told other people not to buy them, and they did, because you can hear the wind noise in a lot of these electronic muffs. But these two, I can promise you don't. And then the Howard Light comes in a whole bunch of different colors. The Peltors, I think, just come in gray, which is whatever. That's cool. The Peltors fit my ears a little better than the Howard Lights, but the Howard Lights definitely look better with the, I got the camo on it, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's cool. So I don't remember what did you tell Todd again, Clay, there real quick?
Well, I kind of mentioned the Bond arms. I really like the Bond arms. They've got a nice little pistol that, it shoots 380, and of course it has the 9mm BL.
LB.
BLB. Bite lung blower.
9 BLB. Yep, not bite.
We're gonna have a T-shirt. I know we
sure.
are.
I did also say that I thought a knife would be a great gift, which I did for my daughter's birthday. It's a Kershaw, opens assisted opening knife. It's almost like it comes right open. And I don't know if we can see that. I know I got it to focus earlier, but it says,
I love
happy
mine.
birthday, love Dad. So we can't see it, but yeah, because you can get them laser engraved, which is an awesome keepsake for anybody. Get whatever you want on it. And this one's obviously purple. My daughter loved this color, purple. So, and a lot of young girls do. And it comes in a bunch of other colors, which I'm sure other knife companies do, but I'm a Kershaw fan. So, but
yep, I like them. I like my Kershaws too. They've been pretty durable, and I beat the living crap out of them. So
yeah. So I would say to continue on with something. One of the things, if what I really like is a good shooting bag, and I'm not just talking some little tiny one. I mean, you get like a big one, and can't remember what mine's called, a bull's bag or something like that. A front. I mean, that to me, that is the stillest I can hold when I shoot. And I mean, when I shoot that and I got a good rifle or a good load or something, I mean, I can shoot dimes at that thing at 100 yards. But I would also get like a heel bag for it. Get the big front one. Even my bipods there, I'll lay that over that bull's bag, because a bipod I can still shoot pretty good. But that bag to me is even better for bench shooting. I mean, if you're going to zero in or something like that, get that front bag, which sporting goods stores I've seen, or gun shops, the cheaper ones are 40, 50, and expensive ones are upwards around 100, 110. I couldn't really tell a difference. I'm sure the material in it is something to it, but
something I really like too, and it's called the lid cam. That goes right here up on your brim of your cap or any hat, really. I know my buddy Eric Newman, he's been using one for a lot of the videos we do, and it goes hand in hand with a Tacticam. You're talking about stocking stuffers, and they'll fit right down there in there.
Yeah.
Right now, LidCam's got a deal going on. I believe they're about $149, but it's buy one, get one. So if you order one, you're getting two. And I think that's a heck of a good deal, and I would really recommend it. We've used them. They're pretty clear, and they give you just that other perspective. So if you're actually a person who's doing a lot of hunting and you're filming that stuff, and you might have your other camera, you throw your lid cam on and just let it run, pull that footage, and then you can bring in different angles. I actually did that with his turkey hunting down in the Buttes. He had that going. He had his other camera going and kind of missed the shot with the big camera. Yeah. I was able to grab it off that lid cam, and it turned out
it actually looked pretty good. Like the video it took looked pretty good. I was kind of surprised by it, but
I don't think anyone even noticed that we switched cameras, shots. So yeah, I was very happy with that, and that was a lot of fun seeing how that would work. And so I got to recommend it.
Okay, awesome. I'm not going to go against that one. That'd be awesome. So I see Vance Bishop says plate carrier is a great gift and maybe very useful soon. I agree with that. I actually do have a plate carrier front and back. It's a AR 500 company made it, and I think at Christmas, like around this time, when I got it was it last year? I think maybe it was like $120, and it's the curved metal, and it's got the coating on it, so the bullet don't splatter and freaking blind you, even though it didn't kill you. Yeah, I mean, but that was a pretty good deal. It came with the carrier and the two plates. And, I mean, they're steel. They're not. You want to get ceramic ones? They're heavy.
Gene, gas card to pay for gas to Phoenix in February.
Hey, I told Gene today his can koozie and his decals on the way. It's on the way to Mobridge, so dropped it in.
I think that was my fault, Gene, and we didn't get it out right away. But we got it coming now, and that should take care of them. We do have a couple of them left, I think. But yeah.
I think there's 4. I counted the leather ones, but I'm actually the ones that I got made and ordered with our logo on. They're coming. So they're on the way, and when they get here, I'll take some pictures of them, and we can get them up next week, and you guys can see what they look like. And most of these I just got to make gifts, and then like I said, I talked to a business today. We're looking at caps, and when we get some of those made, Clay, and I'll get them on here. And I think we can get Venmo set up for our payment thing with the bank, which we're going to do. And when you got other jobs, doing all this stuff is it just ain't talking. So we got,
and it takes a lot I found out it takes a lot to set up a store on your website. We had to get all our paperwork done so that we were, you got to get your government extortion sales tax license and all that good stuff. So we got everything done with the Secretary of State. We're ready to roll there. And we got some designs coming for shirts. Although Todd's gonna get the first one, the original assault weapons. We'll wait till we get it done to tell you what it's gonna be, but it's kind of fun.
So all right, Clayton, what else you got here for a gift for the hunter and the shooter and a Second Amendment?
And I mentioned that on Friday's show, I think, but I'm going to plug them again. That's the Neo's overshoes. I'm telling you guys, Corey, a buddy of mine with Rack's Adventure Team, he's the one that showed them to me. I use them ice fish, and I got the cleats, and I've been wearing them now that we got snow and ice around here the last few days. At almost 50 years old, I don't want to fall anymore. I guess it hurts.
No, I don't want to fall when I was younger.
But them things, guys, I've literally put my tennis shoes on, or put my one time I ran out in my slippers. It was the middle of the night. I had to go check out something, and I just slipped them on, and it was 20 below. Your feet don't get cold. I'm amazed by them. They're about 150 to 200, depending on what you buy. I really highly recommend them for anything, guys. They are the thing to have. If you got problems with feet getting cold anyway, trust me, that's what you want.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, today swung into my cousin and her husband's business, Capital City Restaurant Supply. Got some seasonings and some other stuff for Christmas gifts in there. I mean, there's tons of stuff in there. I mean, I'm not like some big chef guy, because that's not what but there is so much stuff in there that you can find. It's an awesome place to go. You got somebody who processes their own deer meat. You got the seasonings, the bags, the stuffer, the grinder, the knives. And I think that would be an awesome gift for a deer hunter and people like cutting up their own meat and making it. I think that'd be a great idea to do that as well. Plus, I can promise you this, Ricky's he's actually in the military, and he's a huge Second Amendment guy. So
them guys are great. Hey, there we go, Amelia. You're right. Jerky's always you can't go wrong with jerky.
No.
If your guy don't like meat, well, maybe you better see if he's a guy.
That just sounded weird, Clay. If your guy don't like meat,
Oh, get your mind out of the gutter.
Right.
Pay for someone's haircut.
Oh, Big R taking a crack at me.
I knew that. I knew you'd love that one.
Oh, sorry,
isn't he, Randy?
Sorry, Big R. It's gonna keep growing. My wife doesn't like it, but it's gonna keep going. The big gray bush is
fingers through that silky hair.
It's curly. You can't run your fingers like calf hair. It's not very.
But go ahead.
So we were talking last week too about barrel break-ins and barrel cleanings. I think for doing that, you get yourself cleaning rod, and I'm not just talking about the cheap junk steel one that you screw together and it'll wreck up, screw up your barrel crown or your chamber. Get a nice nylon coated one, and actually get a bore guide too. A bore guide's pretty cheap. You can actually get a cheap plastic bore guide that'll work good, and it's gonna make cleaning way easier, and you're not gonna get a bunch of stuff in your chamber, and it's gonna save the rifling on your barrel and stuff. So that's gonna run you. They're not cheap. They're probably like $35, $40, but they're probably gonna last somebody a lifetime, and it's not gonna screw up their barrel. So
no, I got 3 different ones, for different calibers, and then I buy the Jags, the brass Jags. I don't just use them little pulls. I've learned that I'll spend a little extra money on that kind of stuff so that I don't mess up my barrel or screw up the rifling.
It's worth it.
It is. I like accuracy, and I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, and Clay said, we were talking, buy it caliber specific. Don't just buy a 22 or a 17 rod and then try and shove that thing through a 30 cal bore. It's going to flex and be hard to push through, and you're going to screw it up. Don't just get the caliber specific. Yeah. So.
And I had to buy another one when I got my Lapua, because when I started getting those bigger chambers, 338 Win Mags, Lapua thing. Yeah, I had to have them, and I highly recommend getting those things. I really do.
See, Big R said my hair's going to be blowing in the wind on the mule. It's going to be just like
man.
Nicolas Cage there, and when he's in Vegas there with the Con Air.
Yeah.
Oh. So
Oh, my goodness.
I would say too, if you got somebody with it doesn't matter, pistol, rifle, whatever. Some shotguns got detachable. Buy magazines for stocking stuffers. I mean, trust me, you're never going to have enough magazines. I don't care if you shoot or you don't do it a lot. It's just good to have. It's like a fire extinguisher, man. It's just good to have it. I mean, I shoot a lot, so I rotate my magazines and use them. I know if they say the springs don't go bad, but I don't buy that. You can press steel for a long time. I can't.
It takes
And they're
a
cheap.
while.
I mean, they're cheap, and they are a good P mag, which I would recommend, or a Lancer for an AR. You know, it's going to be $13 maybe. You know,
and I'll add to that, if you're going to get mags, if you got guys that shoot a lot of AR-15s or they shoot the Ruger 10-22, I mean, I don't know how many thousands of 22 shells me and the boys went through this summer. It's well worth getting those reloaders that you just dump the shells in and then put your mag in there and click. You know, you just turn it and it loads them up. And you can load up those 20 from 25 round mags pretty fast on the 10-22s. And if you get the one that's 223, it works really well. I got one of them too. I love it.
Yeah, I would say too on them Ruger mags, 10-22s, get the steel lips, not the cheap ones with the plastic lips. They work, but the ones with the steel lips work better. I would say just go ahead and buy the Ruger factory one. It's going to cost you a little more, but you're getting better quality, in my opinion.
Hey, Gordy sends in a message. Are we going to sell some 701 swag for Christmas? Gordy, we don't have nothing on the website right now, but if you'll private message either me or Jamie, let's get together. We can probably get you something if you need.
Yeah,
I said we got this T-shirt design. We can put the other logo on. We've got a few things we've made. We've just been trialing air.
I don't know if you caught the beginning, Gordy. I did get some can coolers made like for regular size cans and the tall like the White Claws or the Mick Ultra cans or your can of Coke or whatever. So when I get them, I mean, I'm giving some away to my friends for gifts, but I will have some. And I mean, if you're interested, and I'll get some pictures up, and like Clay can bring them pictures up on here, I can download them, pop them up. I mean, if you're interested, let me know. I'm probably gonna sell them for like $8. I mean, I didn't buy a whole bunch, and they weren't super expensive either. But I can't just give them away.
Yeah.
Plus, they're super. I mean, $8 is worth it 100% when you're getting 701 swag. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all right, Clay, if you know somebody, here's a great gift, and I love this kind of thing. If you know somebody who's got their own shooting range, 100 yards, whatever, 50 yards, get them a steel gong.
Absolutely.
And I mean, there's another thing again. It'll probably last you damn near your whole lifetime. They're not even that expensive. I mean, you get like a nice 10-inch one for a rifle out to easily 200 yards, you should be able to hit that with no problem. But I mean, up to closer to 100 with that, that'll be easy. Or just handguns. Handgun ones are even cheaper because it's a lower grade of steel. So
yeah, I highly recommend that as well.
Yeah, or you get like a safe dehumidifier. If you got somebody who's got a gun safe, trust me, you're going to need one of these. You're going to get rust on your rifle or your handguns or whatever in there. And they're again relatively inexpensive, and they're going to save you a lot of pain in the long run.
Absolutely. Nope, there's I don't know, knives are always good. I got knives, binocular harnesses that you wear on your chest.
Perfect.
Those are
way
awesome.
Better than the neck one. Way better.
Absolutely.
100 times. Binocular harnesses are awesome.
Yep, and I know Jamie wears one quite often. I
constantly
do
wearing one.
And I wouldn't know actually what to do when I'm out hunting without it, because it frees up your hand. It's not sitting there flying around and you're walking. Of course, I know some of our listeners go, "What are you doing walking?" But when you're out walking, that's the way to. That's the one thing to have.
If you want to spend a little more, I would, if you really love your man,
get him a gun.
You can get him a gun for sure. I was gonna say a rangefinder.
If you really love your man, right there.
Get him one of get him one of those. Get him one of those and go get it laser engraved with guns and a 701 on the side of it.
That's right.
But yeah, I would say a rangefinder. I like personally what I saw works awesome are Leupold's or
Well,
the SIG Kilo. SIG actually works probably better even in my loophole a little bit, but I mean,
I got to throw an
they're both awesome.
off-brand in there for you. They're not so
Okay.
off-brand anymore. Axle's like ammo, absolutely.
Yeah,
David
you
over
can't.
there at 1760 Sports right there in Mandan, he hooked me up with an Athlon. I don't know if I had you look at that when you were out here, but I'm
I
telling you
don't
right
think
now,
so.
that thing, I've had Leupold, I've had them all. I think that thing's no, it's just as good, and it's about half the price. And I can tell you, I haven't been nice with it. I used it out deer hunting. I used it on the Dogtown. I mean, it's been a great tool, and the price is right. So I really, guys, look into those Athlons because it's a rangefinder.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
Eh,
Randy's got a good one too. You get a bench vise, not like one of them good Tipton, the ultimate
yes.
one like I got. Yeah, that's good. That's really good suggestion actually, Randy. And those will probably be $120, but they're well worth it. And again, that's something that's never going to get wrecked. And trust me, a person who
Um,
works on guns a lot and cleans them, those things are awesome. They work great.
I do a lot of reloading, and I hate dirty brass. So another good thing would be get them a brass cleaner, a tumbler or vibrator. The vibrating ones. To me, guys, they're invaluable. They keep that stuff looking good, and I'd go with that.
I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, Clay. I'm not laughing at what Clay's saying. I'm laughing at a comment. I don't know
You
what that
talking about
means.
Axel put up there?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, Doug, good to see you. Hawks are also good. Yeah, they are. Yep.
Well, didn't we used to have the NRA banquets like Hawk Scopes or something?
Yeah, briefly, but they didn't stay in the VDO program very long.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
I hate to say it, but we had some issues with their warranties. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened there. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Just before we get on to the next thing, I just a couple more things I'd throw in here for sure that I use a ton, and I'm not saying I'm the person who hunts the most or shoots the most, but I do it more than the average bear. A lens pen, and I mean you can buy that every
Oh,
year
yeah.
because they're $10, $12, and not only a pen, a cloth. Because you get your glass wet, you can get like a nice little cloth, you can pull it out because your lens pen ain't going to clean it. That lens cloth, just because taking your jacket, you're going to scratch your freaking glass up, and you're going to be pissed. I mean, a
No,
small
absolutely.
investment for somebody like that, throw it in their stocking. Good pair of hunting socks. Actually, them runnings, I bought like the 3 pair of the just them Browning ones that are like $12. I'm surprised those things are pretty sweet. And then like Doug said, get you 22 hollow points or some 17, throw it in the stocking. I mean,
Absolutely. No,
that's
everyone
awesome.
loves ammo, and ammo's back on the shelves for the most part. So, yeah.
Yep. We back.
It's bad. What did Lynette say here? She goes, in my case, I have no idea what Doug has. So a Mandan Sporting Goods gift certificate is the way to go.
Trust me, Lynette, you don't want to know all that he's got.
And it's not worth anything either.
Yeah. Dougie, you better hope you outlive her. She's gonna sell that stuff for nothing.
We'll help price it.
Yeah. Clay and I'll come out and help you. Don't worry, we'll take care of that for you.
So,
All right, Clay.
speaking of that, I don't know. Do we have any more gifts here?
I mean, you know what we do, but why don't we let's go for the obscene profits time out here, and then let's get into our buddy who's taking over for Nanny Pelosi.
All righty, here we go. We're gonna go pay some bills and thank our sponsors here.
You bet. Guns in the 701 is sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located on 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Doug and the boys are patriots who support your Second Amendment rights with friendly service, decades of experience, competitive pricing, and expert advice for all your auto needs. It's getting colder out, so bring your vehicle in for a checkup and let Doug make sure you won't get stuck out in the cold this season. Stop in and let him know that you heard it on Guns and the 701 and you appreciate his support for your freedom and, most importantly, our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, Bismarck, North Dakota. Give him a call, 701-258-6308.
Yeah, absolutely. And
there you go, Doug. We got you a new one, buddy.
We got him a new one. We got it done. And Doug, I know you're listening, I'll be in. That'd probably be after the first of the year, though. But I want to get a set of tires. I'm gonna, like I said, I did that when I was with the NRA. If they were a supporter of us, I supported them, and that's what I want. I'm gonna do the same thing. And the expedition's ready, so we'll get a set of tires, bud.
Awesome.
So now I know what you're gonna go to.
Okay, are we gonna hit the blind gaze eye?
I suppose we better. That's my fault. I'm sorry there. Wyatt, here we go. We forgot to give you some love here. Here we go. Guns in the 701 is sponsored by The Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, The Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com. All right, there we go. Two great sponsors, guys. Auto Repair and The Blind Guy. Christmas is coming up. I think some new blinds or window coverings is perfect for everybody. So there we go.
Excuse me. All right, Clay. So Democrats lost the House of Representatives, and as anybody who pays any attention at all knows, Nancy Pelosi, massive anti-Second Amendment, Second Amendment prohibitionist. So she got replaced with Mr. Hakeem Jeffries from New York, real common sense kind of guy. He likes to portray himself.
Sounds American, don't he?
We're going to go over Hakeem's Second Amendment record here. Yeah, I agree. Whoever put that 22-250, that stuff is scarce.
That's still hard.
Wait a minute, we got a question for our sponsors here. Is The Blind Guy only in Bismarck? I heard an ad from them in Rapid City. That probably The Blind Guy is South Dakota. I know Wyatt and Tammy went into Minnesota before, but I think that was kind of a special trip. You can certainly call and ask them if they know you're a supporter of the show, that Tammy might want to put some miles on the old.
And he's close enough to the border, just like I am. So
they might actually just go down there and ride four-wheelers and do their thing for you too. So because they go down the hills quite a bit, they support the Black Hills quite a bit. So yeah,
but I'm not sure, Eric. It's something we can ask Wyatt. But I do know there are other guys. The Blind Guy is from what I understand, kind of a bigger corporation. That supplies it, and then but Wyatt and Tammy are independent. So.
So if either one of them are listening, feel free to text Clay or I, or put the answer in here in the chat. So, okay, so let's get into a few things here. First of all, Mr. Hakeem Jeffries, before we get into his record, I'm going to kind of give it away what he's all about. He was endorsed by the Giffords organization.
What?
Gabby Giffords.
Who would have
Gabby
thought?
Giffords came up here years ago trying to promote Second Amendment prohibition. Marty Beard and I and a few other guys were over there against him, but yeah, that'll tell you right there, right out of the gate, what he's all about. And he just loved that endorsement too. And of course, ban assault weapons, my air quotes there, that belong in war zones, not in our streets. And Clay and I talked about the streets thing. And if you listen to the show, weapons of war, assault weapons, every damn gun, bow and arrow is a weapon of war. So hey, at least he was honest. He wants to ban everything, right?
Yeah, everything, all of them, right? All you bow hunters, watch out. They're coming after your weapons of war.
Trust me. No, Wyatt said it's the Blind Guy out of Spearfish. He just sent me a text. Thanks, Wyatt. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Wyatt. Yep.
You ask and you shall receive. Hey, that's so Clay and I. We got the best listeners. A lot of people say they do, but we do.
I think that I know Eric is closer to Bismarck than he is to Spearfish. So there you go, Wyatt.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so I got a few questions he was asked on the Issues website. So background checks. Do you think they should be required between private citizens? What do you think he answered, Clay?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I imagine yes, right?
You got it, buddy. All right, second question. Should citizens be allowed to carry guns?
Oh, absolutely not. That's just horrible. It's unsafe. Yeah.
Man, you're right on board with Hakeem here. You know what he's all about. Okay.
Bastard.
Should citizens be required to have a license for gun ownership?
Well, absolutely. If it saves one life.
What about free speech? You think they need a license for that?
Oh, no, you don't need a
license.
Okay. Well,
that wasn't a question, but that's what he'd say.
Only those people that want to be conservatives and constitutionalists, because they're pretty scary, so they got to have a license for free speech. But if it's liberal speech, we're good to go.
Well, you nailed that one. He also sponsored the large capacity ammunition feeding device act, and
Yeah.
which we all know what that is. 10 rounds or less until we say 5 rounds or less.
Yeah,
But
that
he
was
wanted it,
one of his co-sponsored bills in 2013. So
and he
this
wanted
stuff's been around for a while, guys.
Yeah, and he wanted it, man. If you wanted you to get fined and 10 years in prison if they caught you with one. Hey, but he was going to be nice if you had it before the ban went into effect. I mean, I guess we'll let you keep it until we decide that's not going to work again.
Right. Well, then you had to have identification markings.
Oh, here's one of my favorite ones coming up. Here's one really freaking right here. And damn near every Democrat you'll run across will go right down the line with Hakeem, but 99.9% of them will be behind him on this. Co-sponsored to repeal stand your ground laws.
And he was proud of it too.
Oh God, he loved it. Just you're supposed to run out of your house. All they want is your TV. Oh, we're gonna kill you. I'm just gonna rape your wife. Jesus, what's the problem? Yeah. You're gonna shoot me? I don't care if you're sitting in traffic and some shit staying wigs out and comes out and starts punching on your window and freaking out. I'll tell you what, I'll give you my opinion right now. You should be able to ventilate that son of a beep.
Make him
when you're that unhinged, and if you get out and do something like that, or you're screaming and hollering at somebody, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Don't run. You shouldn't run away. Democrats think you ought to just lay there and take it. If you die, that's just the way it's supposed to be.
Well, remember that West Fargo gal? She asked me who made me the judge and the jury. And doesn't that guy have rights? I said, no, he don't. He gave them up when he pulled his gun or tried to threaten me, and I'm going to shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't like my answer either.
So he also condemns any and all efforts to weaken gun laws. So as you can see, we didn't get anything better out of the Democrats with Nancy going. Trust me, everybody's like, God, I'm so sick I couldn't stand looking at her. I'm going to promise you this right now. Remember me telling you this not even a year from now, but let's just give it a year. You will detest even seeing that man just as much as you did seeing Nancy Pelosi. That I'm going to promise you.
Absolutely. And I can tell you this. If in the next election the Republicans lose the House and the Democrats retake it, this guy will be worse than Nancy.
Oh, yeah.
Nancy Pelosi is batshit crazy, okay? And she's an alcoholic. She was still a Democrat that leaned left. This guy is all-out communist. He does not like the Constitution, and he doesn't like this country. This guy is 10 times worse, and that's actually scary because I don't have a lot of confidence anymore in our election cycles.
No.
And until the Republicans play the game they play, that's the hand we've been dealt.
Oh, yeah.
We need to get out there and get our ballots and get them in, go around like they do and give them to everybody, let them vote, and then turn them in. I mean, they made the rules, and we can't stop until we play their game. It's checkmate.
Mm-hmm. So something that baffles me, Clay and I talked about this earlier, Dave. Right on, Kevin. Best thing for a carjacking is one in the chamber. Absolutely. Especially one of them hollow point LBs. That's what you want.
There you go. Yeah.
So in Georgia, if you aren't paying attention, Raphael Warnock lost. The man who said carrying your firearm is a sign of white privilege.
Yep.
I mean, how ridiculous is that? Like black people can't carry guns, and give me a freaking break, dude.
Yeah. I didn't remember the last time a gun being, given a darn about what color you were.
Yeah. Trust me, if one goes through your chest, you're not going to care what color the person was pulling the damn trigger.
No.
So yeah, I mean, it was a crappy turnout again for Republicans. I don't understand. Like I told Clay, I'm not sure if do a bunch of rural people in Georgia not like black people or what, because the rural counties didn't turn out for Herschel. I mean, they did vote red, but I mean, not in big numbers like they should have.
Yeah, it was interesting to kind of go through them numbers a little bit today afterwards, breaking them out, county by county and precinct by precinct. Of course, around Atlanta, they went heavily for the Democrat because they're batshit crazy too, I guess.
Yeah,
But
I actually got a picture here. I was gonna right here. I got it off Newsmax today. You see that?
oh, there
That's
you go.
Georgia. Look at how red that is
Yep.
compared to. I mean, there's blue dots in there. This is the problem, my friends. Is my friends like John McCain? My friends. The problem is we need an electoral college, county by county, in each state, because otherwise, it's that. To me, they always want to be fair. To me, that's the only fair thing. You want to be fair if you live in Slope County and the population there compared to Cass County. You think that's fair? No, because the people in Cass County, I'll promise you, the vast majority of them think nothing like the good folks in Slope County.
Absolutely. And you and I talked about that quite a while ago about the electoral college type system, taking it even farther down the chain. And I like it. I mean, I'm just looking at North Dakota alone. When you look at these elections, guys, they're not that far apart.
No.
Yes, we still win, wrong or right. And Republicans aren't necessarily conservatives, all of them. I can tell you right now, if this keeps going the trend it's been going, North Dakota will turn purple, just the way it did Colorado, Montana.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them used to be solid conservative red states that went purple, then went blue.
Guaranteed.
And because we just are going to get outvoted, there's just not the population. Yeah, our county might go completely red, but it doesn't mean that we're going to outvote another county on the eastern side of the state. They got more people.
To expand on Walker a little bit, why they must not have liked him is because Brian Kemp won as governor. He crushed the Georgia Hippo in the general election. Georgia's House and Senate are not quite the majority like ours is, but they're pretty dominant. So
right.
Something about the guy is
Herschel Walker was a poor candidate, plain and simple. I said that before. I not that he's probably a bad guy. I don't know. I don't know the guy.
No,
I think they ran him because he was black, and I hate race politics.
I do too.
And he was a football star, and they thought that was going to carry a lot of clout, and I knew it wouldn't. They need to run the best candidate, not the best one that has the best.
He wasn't too well spoken, and people like to get smoke blown up their rear end when somebody's. Remember Obama? Oh God, he talks so. So I seen Gordy wants us to bring this up about Hoven here a little bit, and let's just kind of bring it up, Clay. What we talked about. Remember when I was reading the deal there, and you thought exactly what I thought. So we passed a law here a couple of years ago that made North Dakota a Second Amendment sanctuary city.
Yes.
Sanctuary city. Yeah, sanctuary state, my bad. And which means our law enforcement doesn't have to help the feds enforce any federal infringement on Second Amendments, nor use any money. So Mac Schneider, huge Democrat. Joel Heitkamp thinks this guy is just the Greek god of Democrat politics. I remember when he was on there, he just kissed this guy's rear end up and down. And
I should tell you,
he was appointed as a U.S. attorney by Joe Biden. Okay, and John Hoven, Kelly Armstrong, and I'm sad to say even Kevin Kramer kissed this guy's rear end. Here's a thing from Hoven, and we're done with this. We're going to get into our new segment, but Clay and I just got to touch on this. So here's John Hoven. We welcome Max Schneider to his new role as U.S. attorney, and we wish him the best as he takes on this important job for the people of North Dakota. He doesn't represent me. We will continue working to ensure our law enforcement, including federal officers, have the resources they need to uphold our laws and keep our communities safe while supporting efforts to protect the rights of our state and its citizens. Number one, there's no way you should be kissing ass on a leftist who was appointed by a leftist.
That's right.
That's number one. Number two, I just said we had a law passed that made North Dakota a sanctuary state, and John Hoven right here just said he wants to ensure our law enforcement, including federal officers. That's the point of being a sanctuary state, that federal officers don't get any help or resources from the state to uphold our laws and keep our community safe. John wants Mac to just keep doling money out and tell our law enforcement, help the feds out enforce this if you get some federal gun infringement passed.
Yeah, and that's Hoven, guys.
That was Hoven. That was Kelly Armstrong and Kevin Kramer. Yep. They should have said nothing.
Not all of them are guilty of it, But Hovind
Yes.
especially, because
Yep.
Hovind was the man that was trying to tell us he was conservative. He just had an election.
Oh, if
He
you'd
lied
heard
to
him
you.
at the state
Like,
convention, he was all
at the
fire and
state
brimstone
convention,
right winger.
that guy, you'd have thought he was he would have been farther right than me and you, which
Yeah, you would have. You would
but
have.
according to him, he was. And that's the kind of guy John Hovind was. And people in the state of North Dakota lined up and couldn't vote for him fast enough. And that's your fault.
Yep.
If you voted for John Hovind, you were part of the problem.
Yeah.
Because you had a candidate, Rick Becker.
You know, again, there's no point for him to even say anything. But if somebody should have asked him about it, no comment. You know, he's a Democrat. What he should have said was, listen, this is a red state. Joe Biden's a Democrat. Max Schneider's a Democrat. That guy has no positive impact coming to this state. None other than Fargo.
Yeah.
You know? But they're kissing his butt like, oh, God, Max Schneider. He was a center for UND. He's cool. He played football. Yeah, I love football. I don't give two rats rear ends if Max Schneider did anything. He's a leftist. The guy's against. I'll promise you, deep down, Max Schneider is just like Joe Hakeem because they love each other. They're leftists. They're against.
Every decision he's going to make is going to be a leftist ideology and probably leaning closer to socialism.
Yeah.
That's
just like
ideology.
Tim Turton was.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I say that wrong, Clayton?
No, you said it perfect. Kind of like, you take a Joel and wipe your Heidi. But anyway.
Yeah. And
guys,
Turton was
Thompson,
out there.
I got to point this out. He made a great point here. And he did just need a good sheriff. That's true. Guys, sheriffs right now are going to become one of the most important elected offices from here on out. Pay attention. Get people who are constitutionalists to run. Yeah. You have to run for these sheriff's offices. I'm telling you right now, you got to have a strong sheriff that has the cojones to arrest these people and deputize anybody that he needs to do that job. And that's where it's going to come down to. I mean, he's one man. If he don't have any backing, it's not going to do any good. But you're going to have constitutional sheriffs. Right. They are the top law enforcement agency in the county. I don't care what some people say at the state legislature. The way this was set up, the sheriff is the top dog. And right now over there in Dickinson, you guys got one hell of a sheriff in Corey Lee.
And I understand that you do need to be cordial in some things in politics, but the Democrats aren't cordial with us, so don't show them anything they're not showing. Shiloh had a great comment here. I want to read that. He wouldn't have won the state convention that his buses wouldn't have had showed up, and they would have followed the rules. But listen, the main thing, if you were there, which Clay, you were sitting right behind me, you guys. And guess what? Hovind won because the Eastern soft Republicans and the left-leaning side of the state put him over the top. Think about that. The more leftist thinking people put John Hovind. They didn't vote for Becker because they wanted somebody more left. I'll promise you that.
Absolutely.
That's what did it. That's what did it. And you know what? I'll tell you what. I'll take Hovind over a lot of senators, but when he needs to get chewed out, he needs to get it. And I'm sure he doesn't care about me, but guess what? I'm saying it, so.
He doesn't care about much of anything. He's there for his benefits and bring back a few crumbs and try to buy people's votes, and that's what he does. That's all Hovind does. He was a Democrat long before he was a Republican. He just changed parties, and he's still a Democrat.
All right, I'm going to put Angry Jamie back in the box there. I got fired up. That it chaps me. All right, Clayton, we got a new segment we talked about.
We do. So
we're going to hit it.
I guess let's hit it. We'll bring in the new intro here, and this is our Midwest Badass. It was a quick one. We'll get better at that one.
I kind of wanted you to play that a little longer, to be honest with you. I was liking that. That's some good tune.
You gotta remember, it was a long day. But
before
we get started, because I think this goes into it, because right here, guys, it's Pearl Harbor Day, Remembrance Day here on December 7th. And those of you who don't know, that's when Pearl Harbor was attacked by the Japanese Empire, and then we unleashed our badasses. And this was one of the guys.
Yep. This badass came out of the box just for that. There he is right there.
There he is. That's Joe Foss.
Yep. I can't believe they actually put him on Time Magazine. Who was the
Hey,
on the NRA even
yeah.
there? That's so
I mean,
Joe
Major Smoking
Foss.
Joe Foss.
There he is, right there. That's a real badass years right there. That's awesome. Guy cranking on a cigar, flying around fighter
Gotta
planes to
love it, don't you?
Guadalcanal. Yeah, I do love it. That's awesome. That guy's scared of nobody. I guarantee it. So yeah, Joe
So
Foss was he joined the Marine Corps. He's in South Dakota, or so when Clay do this, when we say Midwest badass, we weren't picking guys out of the Midwest. So
what's that?
and
I
I
missed
said
you.
when Clay and I said Midwest badass, we're taking guys out of the Midwest. So
Yeah, and anyone that's from South Dakota knows who Joe Foss was.
Yep. So Joe Foss was a United States Marine Corps on Guadalcanal. He was a fighter pilot for the Marines. He was an ace. He received the Medal of Honor in recognition of his role for air combat during Guadalcanal.
Yeah,
that was his first part of Joe Foss's life. This guy is done right there. And anybody who knows anything about World War II, the F4F Wildcat, that thing was vastly out. What's the word I'm looking for? The Japanese
everything.
Zero was a far superior fighter to the F4 Wildcat. The Hellcat came along later, and then kind of the Zeros kind of started taking. So when Joe and his boys of the Cactus Air Force in Guadalcanal were taking down Zeros, they were doing it with inferior equipment. It was all skill. It was badass skill.
It was badass skill. It really was. I can tell you, Joe Foss, and that's what he's known for. I was looking up probably the same stuff you're looking up here.
Mm-hmm.
It was October 1942. The pilots were sent to Guadalcanal. Can't even talk tonight. Guadalcanal. And October 9th, that's when Foss and his group, they catapulted off of the USS Kapachi escort carrier and flew 350 miles north to reach their target. Their group code was Cactus. He gained a big reputation because of his aggressive close-in fighting tactics. And, you can read about all this, but I did have the privilege to meet some of the people. I never met him. And I'm telling you, he had a reputation for being kind of crazy.
Really? Well, you kind of got to be if you're going to take on being outnumbered and outgunned. So
he shot down his first Japanese Zero on his first combat mission on October 13th. But his F4F, his Wildcat, took a beating. It was shot up really bad, and it had a dead engine and 3 more Zeros on his tail. He landed at full speed with no flaps with minimal control at Henderson Field.
Unbelievable.
So, I mean, he didn't care. He was just wild. He was doing his job. November 7th, his Wildcat was again hit. He survived it by ditching it in the sea off of the island of Malata. So that's just a little brief history. They were known as the Foss's Flying Circus, and he himself named some of these guys. He had 2 sections: the Farm Boys and the City Slickers. Is what he named them. You gotta love it.
Goddamn segregationist.
Yeah, damn it. So in 3 months of sustained combat, Foss's Flying Circus had shot down 72 Japanese Zero aircraft, including 26 credited just to Foss himself. He matched
How many?
the record.
Say that again. How many did he shoot down?
26, all by himself out of that 72.
That's a
and
double
matched the
ace,
record
my
of
friends.
26 kills held by America's top World 1 ace, Eddie Rickenbacker. No one had done it since then. So, I mean, wow. And
Eddie died in World War
I. Yeah, yes, he did. And that's just his military record. I mean, the guy went on to do a lot of things.
Medal of Honor. He won the Medal of Honor as a pilot. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, right here. He got one for valor, one for flying. I forget. I don't remember what they all were. Let's see. There they were: combat action ribbons, flying, the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Medal of Honor, of course, and then the Naval Aviator Badge. I mean, the man, he done more than most people do in a lifetime. And like I said, that's just his military service.
That's just the beginning. Yeah. Oh, he got actually 3 air medals. Yeah, did you say it? I didn't.
Yep, 3 air medals.
Okay, I got you.
I mean, he was the president of the National Rifle Association from 1988 to 1990. Was an avid, and that's what this was, Second Amendment supporter. He was always taking pictures with his guns. If he wanted a picture, he's going to use his guns. And you got to love a man like that, don't you? I mean,
I do.
He was, what a man that way. He served as the governor of South Dakota from 1955 to 1959. So he served one term.
Mm-hmm.
He also went on to, well, let's see. Let's just read it. He was
then
the American Football League commissioner. I think he was their first president.
Yep. Now, later known as the AFC Conference for those football fans.
He was a television broadcaster. He was an author. He was an avid entrepreneur. He was always doing something. He served then, of course, in the United States Marine Corps, 1940 and 1946, and then the National Guard, the South Dakota Air National Guard, 46 to 55. He served total from 1939 to 1955 in the United States military. He achieved the rank in the Marines as Major, United States Marine Corps, and then Brigadier General. So,
wow.
I mean, the guy just kept going and going and going. And like I said, the man did everything. I don't know who could be more badass than him.
Like the AFL, he helped them make these big television deals. He was one of the main people negotiating this stuff. And when they merged the leagues, he didn't like that. So that's 3.5. He disagreed with that and stepped aside when the AFL and NFL merged. So, and Al Davis succeeded him. So if you know who Al Davis is, but. And then, of course, he had an ABC television show, The American Sportsman, from 64 to 67, which took him around the world hunting and fishing. And then he hosted and produced his own syndicate outdoor TV series called The Outdoorsman, Joe Foss, from 67 to 74. And in 72, he began a 6-year stint as director of public affairs for Royal Dutch Airlines. I mean, this just keeps going with this guy.
It just keeps going. Yeah, he kept on going. He never quit. I mean, the man, he lived a full life. He accomplished more things than most people do. He's still known. Like I said, Gene Cox had on here that he has the Sioux Falls Airport was named after him. And yeah, that's true. And he died. He was born in April 17th, 1915, and then died at the age of 87, January 1st, 2003.
Wow.
Lived a full life. But with that, I pulled up some clips. It was an interview he did several years back, of course.
Let me just throw in one thing here, Clay. He also, his daughter had cerebral palsy, and he served as president of the National Society of Crippled Children and Adults.
I did not know that one. And he also started, if I remember right, the Joe Foss Foundation,
Institute.
Okay. Yep.
I knew that because I was reading it right when you
said okay, there you go. And what did they act? I mean, they did a lot of things, but what are they best known for? I'm sure there's
501c nonprofit. The Institute works with veterans and educators around the United States to educate the nation's youth on history and civics and to inspire them to become informed and engaged citizens through classroom presentations, curriculum, and scholarships. The Joe Foss Institute has served more than 1.35 million children as of June 2014 nationwide. Currently, the Institute offers 3 primary programs: Veterans Inspiring Patriotism, You Are American Civics Series, and Scholarship Contests, which run year-round. So you guys just trying to inspire more great Americans.
Absolutely. Yeah, here's some comments. Kevin's got on here. He had to adapt and overcome, and we know where that comes from.
Yeah, Marine.
Clint Eastwood, he made a big point of that in Heartbreak Ridge. But they're right. He said, was it over there when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No, it wasn't, Bluto. And then he's a wild man, Keith O'Donnell. And Keith O'Donnell knows a little bit about being a wild man.
Oh, yeah.
And we thank him for his service. Guys, if you ever get a chance to visit with Keith, we need to have Keith on sometime and talk a little about what happened. Because Keith endured some very severe injuries, came back from it. He's doing great. He's got 2 wonderful children. I've known Keith a long time. And
hey, you might be our Midwest badass spotlight
here. Yeah, you're thinking the same thing I was.
Keith.
Hey, some top
there we
shit.
Go.
Yeah, and he did it in a prop plane.
Yeah,
with an undersized motor compared to what the Japs had. So
yeah, big heavy sluggish thing wouldn't turn as tight. And
I got about a 2-minute video here, and it's a couple of clips from him talking about being the NRA president.
Okay.
And then kind of talking more about his personality or the things he encountered. So let's play that.
Yep.
Oh, I became president of the National Rifle Association in '89. I've been on the board of directors for years and still am. And see, I believe in the Constitution of the United States. And the course, I don't want anybody horsing around with that, including touching the Second Amendment, which is a right to keep and bear arms. And a lot of people, they don't understand a lot about the National Rifle Association. The very liberal members of the press are always giving us a hard time, but that's par for the course. They just on your back all the time. But nevertheless, I enjoy fighting with them on it, and they know so little about it, they can't fight you intelligently. Everyone, I think, that's halfway normal has competed in something, whether it's giving their lesson in first grade, giving a story on show and tell day, or being on an athletic team or a debating team or singing in the choir or playing in a ping pong tournament. Whatever it is, if you're real honest about it, you will admit you sort of rise to the occasion. And the only thing that differs in when you're at war is that you really arise to the occasion where you're ready to kill the opposition or get killed. And so you are at your best, you're most alert. And some say, were you afraid? And I said, you tell them, sport. When somebody's shooting at me, I get a little nervous. And I'd never get over that. I never got over it. And of course, all of my life, as a result of having been in combat, in war, and seeing people get killed, I've realized how important life itself is. And so the big decisions that people have to make, from time to time, don't worry me, never have, compared to life and death itself.
I mean, you can learn a lot from guys like that.
Absolutely. Joe Foss, he's our first Midwest badass. He earned it, no doubt about it. He was a real patriot and a hero to a lot of people.
So Clay, I found a few more things here. I'm not going to read some of this, but I'm going to read just a paragraph here. But this guy is freaking amazing. Foss was inducted into the National Aviation Hall of Fame in 1984. He was also president and board chairman of the Air Force Association and director of the United States Air Force Academy. In 2000, he served as consultant on the popular computer game Combat Flight Simulator 2 by Microsoft. And trust me, there's a couple more paragraphs I could read about this guy. I'm not going to do it, but I mean, if you don't think that guy's a badass and an ultimate American, you know what I liked what he said right there too, right away when you were playing that, when he said, if you're halfway normal.
Yeah, if you're halfway normal. And
I got a good grin out of that because imagine that guy alive today and seeing what's going on with some of these people. My God.
I don't think he'd be very happy, but you know what? If he was able, I think he'd be out there fighting because I don't think he'd know any other way.
He said it was great.
I mean, yeah, he loved fighting with liberals when he was NRA president, and I was a kid when he was the NRA president and wasn't that involved, then, of course. But when I went out there,
graduated from high school.
You talk to some of the guys that knew him, that were still at the NRA, and because they're like, hey, guy from South Dakota, he was our president. So, yeah, I knew that, and all they had was good things to say, and they're like, oh yeah, he didn't put up with nothing. He didn't mince no words. If he'd called a spade, if he didn't like you, he'd just tell you. It's like, well, that's good.
Yeah,
yeah, that's why he got so far.
Let's do another obscene profit timeout, and then we're gonna do the happy ending of the week, and we're up on an hour here, so hang in there. We got a few more things for you. You bet. Guns in the 701 is sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located on 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Doug and the boys are patriots who support your Second Amendment rights with friendly service, decades of experience, competitive pricing, and expert advice for all your auto needs. It's getting colder out, so bring your vehicle in for a checkup and let Doug make sure you won't get stuck out in the cold this season. Stop in and let him know that you heard it on Guns and the 701 and you appreciate his support for your freedom and, most importantly, our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call, 701-258-6308.
Guns in the 701 is sponsored by The Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, The Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com. All right. And again, thanks to both our sponsors, Doug over there at Lauer Auto Repair and Wyatt and Tammy with The Blind Guy of North Dakota. Great sponsors, great patriots. Stop in, tell them you heard it on Guns in the 701.
Yeah, Lynette says she cares for a 104-year-old vet. So many good stories. She's actually told me a few about the guy. He sounds like a pretty awesome dude too. So,
that's we all of us should get out, make a chance, make an effort to talk to them guys. We just lost a gentleman by the name of Johnny Wells here in Lemon recently. His funeral was yesterday. 100 years old, and he fought at Iwo Jima. And the guy didn't even look that old, honestly. And he got sick here, and it was aging him. But he was actually a big family friend of our family. Knew my grandparents. I wish I'd had the chance to. I should have taken the time and went in there and visited with him more. I bet you he had a lot of knowledge. Think about that, Iwo Jima. Not many of them guys came back. And he was one of the fortunate. And I know KFYR television did a thing on him here just about 2-3 weeks ago for Veterans Day, and it was great to see that. So, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go before we say goodbye to everybody? Do you have a happy ending this week or not?
Yep, I do have one.
All right.
Go ahead and play that intro.
All right, guys, here comes the happy ending of the week.
Oh, heck yeah. I never get tired of that. That thing makes me laugh right there. So we got happy ending of the week here is it's going to come to us here from Florida. I know y'all heard of Florida, man, but I mean, I don't know why. Maybe there's something down there, maybe not. But so Pinella County Sheriff's Office said 27-year-old Cole Joseph Danishment, and trust me, this guy, he's a piece of work. He's got the neck tattoos, and I mean, he looks like a freaking neo-Nazi. This guy's he looks like a piece of work. He became angry with the mother of his unborn child and began brutally beating her in a Publix parking lot, punching her in the face, took her down, punched her in the upper torso, and stomping on her head. She went down, started stomping on her head and upper body. Oh, at that point, a bystander there had a sidearm with shooting iron, whatever you want to call it, came over and he never did shoot the. Oh yeah, these tattoos are sweet on him too. Butterfly tattoos around his neck. This guy pulled out his gun, went over there, and of course, Mr. Danishment here stopped beating on the woman, held him at gunpoint until the cops came. I would say, Clay, this guy's lucky he didn't get shot, because I'm pretty sure in Florida, if you're beating the hell out of a woman who's 14 weeks pregnant and curb stomping her and you shoot him, the jury's going to be like, yeah, go for it, especially this guy. So the happy ending here is I would have rather he would have just plugged this jerk and got it over with, but he did stop it, and the woman sounds like she's going to be okay, didn't lose her baby or whatever. And I'm sure this guy, I'm not sure the way courts are, you never know what district judge he's got, but he should be in a hooshkal for a long freaking time. But happy ending is she's doing all right, got her baby. He didn't kill her. The guy had luckily had his gun out, his right, carrying his gun, which remember Hakeem Jeffries said you shouldn't, because if he didn't have a gun, then he'd have been down with the gal. They'd probably both got their heads stomped in. But the
happy ending of the week is
Second
she
Amendment
survived.
To save just one person, it's worth it, right, Clay?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we win that one.
Thank you, Kevin.
And Florida, by the way,
Thanks,
was
Brian.
one of the first. I mean, they were right on board with getting a stand your ground. So and they got a pretty good one. Theirs
Thanks to
is
who?
really good.
NRA.
NRA, that's right. That's right.
Hey, Gene's got a good point there. Even less Japanese troops made it off EMO. I don't know if they did. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of them they knew they were screwed. So, grenaded. They're put a grenade next to the head or.
Kenny, I put
go
Kenny's comment up here. It says that's coming up. So next week, and that's a good time then to plug that. So next week, like when I started the show off here, we're going to be on Thursday night again. We'll do our Wednesday night show, but Thursday we're going to join. Here's the deal: we're going to do basically a co-op show with Andrew Cordney, and he's going to talk specifically about that because what they're trying to do, I mean, it's all regulatory. They can't win legislatively, so they're going to regulate, and they're trying to lump everything in to the NFA, the National Firearms Act, and even they're even touching on the 1968 Gun Control Act and trying to interpretate things that aren't there to make things illegal. Essentially, what's happening right now, as he was telling me today, they have a whole bunch of paperwork now they gotta fill out when someone purchases something as simple as a short-barreled gun. And then if you make a change on it, what's that?
Or hoops. They want you to jump through hoops and make it such a pain in the ass that you don't want to do it. Hey, and, thanks, George. Appreciate you,
So
buddy.
we got some issues. We're going to address that, and there's some legislation coming up this session, starting next month that I know that Andrew's going to be kind of pushing, and now I'm going to get on board with it. I'll be up there too.
Yeah.
We got a bill coming, guys. That's and I'll throw this out there. That's going to allow for up to now 50. It's also going to include 50 calibers to be able to hunt big game with on your private land. We're going to start with small steps.
There'll be no meat left.
Yeah, no meat left at all. Right? I think it's ridiculous that I can't use a 50 cal.
It is. It is ridiculous. Clay.
So this will actually open it up, and it's just going to be included, and it's just going to expand the calibers that are allowed. I mean, come on. There, you got the 338 Lapua. You can use that. Think of a ton. I bet Gene can jump in here too, but there is a ton of higher calibers, 40 caliber.
I'll bet you 338. The energy's damn near comparable because of the higher muzzle velocity compared to.
We're going to probably get into that as far.
Yeah, let's do that. Actually, we are going to get into that. So hey, real quick, Axe.
Yeah,
that was that guy's girlfriend. It was his kid.
Oh,
so Clay, I know we were talking about putting people's hunting pictures up and. Okay, we got was Dan got there? Go for it.
Florida was one of the first states to pass a shall issue concealed carry law in the late 80s, and he's right. Florida was led on that, and they didn't fall on the stand your ground bill too. So no, I mean, Dan, you're absolutely right, and I know Dan's an avid NRA guy. Worked a long time with him on Friends of NRA, and Dickinson was a great chairman. And I miss talking to you because I don't get out near as much as I used to. But so getting back to the show for next week, so it's going to be 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 Central. And I don't know what's going to happen, Jamie, whether I go up to Dickinson or I go up to Bismarck. I kind of need to get to Bismarck. So I might come up there Thursday and just do the show with you up there. And then we'll get hooked up with Shiloh and Luke over in Dickinson and do it all together. So. Anyway, keep looking for that. We're going to try to broadcast all of our normal ones. If we can't make that happen, we'll definitely be on the YouTube channel.
So Clay we talked about people giving us photos here. I'm going to try and get this one up. Great friend of the show and a great American, Marty Beard. Got that picture sent to me here today. See that? Two Yotes, got it with the suppressor with the 17B mag.
Yep.
Called him in, did a little hunting.
How about
Marty's,
that?
He's still out hunting raccoons right now.
Hey,
dang, look at Clay, man.
He sent it to me too. So
pull that caveman crap of putting my phone up there, I'll tell you what.
So I went ahead and I made sure I had that in the queue.
Attaboy, Marty. Hey, wait a minute, Clay. We're going to read real quick here. If you listened last week, we talked about barrel cleanings and barrel break-ins. So here's what Marty said. Marty said this. I asked him if that was at 17B mag. He said, "Yep, that gun is the sloppiest, cheapest made gun I've ever owned. I've never run a patch through it, and it outshoots my pillar bedded sockos any day."
Wow.
So hey, I was on board with saying that break-ins and barrel cleanings overrated. Thanks, Marty. I appreciate you backing up my point, buddy. And Marty's probably killed more game and shot more guns than most people I know. So.
Oh yeah, and Marty's going to be a guest one of these days. I talked to him again today about it. He couldn't do it. I thought about having him on tonight, but he was busy today, so that's okay.
Well,
we'll get him on.
Yeah. Well, Clay and I talked about also a good buddy of mine, Steve. Huge duck hunter. This guy is massively the most passionate duck hunter I know. We're going to probably have him on for 30 minutes at some point. And we've talked about before, one of the sponsors, Wyatt, guy's the best bird pheasant hunter I know. We're going to have him on for a segment, maybe an hour. Big Second Amendment guy. So, just look for stuff like that. Probably January, February, Clay, when we're in the dregs of winter.
We'll probably. So here's the plan. We're moving along good, and guys, we really want to thank you guys for everything you've done. Our sponsors, our support, it's making the show grow, and it's allowing us to do some things. So we're going to do some changing here. I'm going to redo some things down here in my office so that I got a little better equipment, better everything. I can't do nothing about the internet. It's what it is here, but it's working pretty good tonight.
It's working good.
And we're working on so we can take some calls possibly. We'd like to be able to take a call or two. We've had that request before, so it takes a little different equipment to do that, but we're working on that as well.
Yeah.
So it's coming along. So after the first year, hopefully we got a few extra things going on.
I can tell you this: the last month, every week we're climbing, and we did get a big jump in views and podcast downloads last week. So. Yep. Hang in there, guys. I mean, Clay and we're not doing any advertising. I mean, I'm super happy Todd Mitchell has us on there. That's awesome. We're on KFYR, the big hammer in the Midwest. Clay and I are about the Midwest.
Why don't you give him a little, tell him what we're going to be doing Friday, possibly.
Yeah, right on. KFYR 550, Mitchell in the morning this Friday at 8:40 a.m. Clay and I are going to be talking about a story out of Georgia. This guy's sheepdog. Looks like he's just a dog you cuddle up and pet all the time. He killed 8 coyotes protecting the sheep herd, and he lived. This thing's still alive. We're going to do that. That is an amazing dog. And if we get through that, we're also going to talk about the gun sales. We didn't get to that tonight, but the gun sales that happened the week leading up to and Black Friday. It was an impressive purchasing number by the great Americans. So, I mean, if we don't get to that, we're definitely going to hit on that at some point.
It was awesome. A big number. It's a great number. We're going to make it greater next year and make it greater before Christmas.
The number was huge. It was
huge, and it's going to be bigger.
That was a good one, bringing it in. I love it. Okay.
I guess with that, guys, we want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank Doug over there at Lauer Auto Repair. 25. I better get the number right here. 268 or 258. I should have it meant there. 258-6308. I don't want to mess that up, Ag.
Just remember that 308 at the end.
Yeah, there. 3.
You hear that, Gene?
Oh, there we go. And then the guys, the blind guy. We want to thank both of them guys. They do a fantastic job. They're Second Amendment supporters, and not just that, they're constitutionally minded. You're going to find better people. If you want to put some blinds in for Christmas, get some work done, anything automotive.
Perfect. Awesome.
Get it done, guys. I can't think of anything better than a full service job on your vehicle, gift certificate from Doug and the boys down there.
I was just going to say that. I mean, what's better than getting your freaking oil change and not paying for it, getting that as a gift? That's actually a great. Same with blinds. That's perfect, Clay.
Same with blinds. So get out there. You've still got some time for Christmas, and you can support some Second Amendment freedom-minded business.
And make sure you told them you heard it on Guns in the 701, and you appreciate them supporting shows like this. And don't forget, we just said it, but I'm going to say it again. This Friday, 8:40, Clayton and I, Guns in the 701 guys on with Todd Mitchell in the morning. We got about 10-12 minute segment, Clay, is what we run on there.
Yeah, about that. We usually get on there about 20 to the top of the hour. And and Todd's been great. And we're going to be there every Friday until he decides we're not.
Hey, I'd like to thank my 2 bosses for not really caring of me going out and taking 12 minutes of time just to talk on the radio here and putting up with me and doing this show. I'm always on the phone looking at stuff, and
I've talked more to you in the last 3 months.
They're not saying it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's awesome. I work for a great company, for sure.
Axe, here's what Axe put up there. 258-6308. I'm loving that.
Oh, see,
All right.
not only are they great Second Amendment supporters, they got a sense of humor as well. So.
They do. So with that, guys, I want to wish you guys a great weekend. I think next week we might even touch on the Game and Fish and some of their advisory meetings. I'm going to pull the clip out of the meeting from this week and have it for sure because I want to show what Jeb Williams really thinks of you guys. If you're using bait, he thinks you're not a hunter. And he pretty much said that because that's not real hunting. And it is in there. So I'm going to get that clip. And that whole meeting was just a bunch of bull crap. The guy that was in the audience at the beginning of that meeting, fantastic. He had data, he had facts, and he put them guys on the spot, and they still stuck to their narrative. That is what a mind-numb, bureaucratic moron does. And every one of them did it. They back it. So I wonder how much money they're actually getting from other sources to sponge into this CWD fight, because I can't imagine any other reason you'd do it. So keep in mind that's coming up probably next week. That's the plan. So
see that with Kenny? Yeah, that's actually a great analogy right there, Kenny. Does he catch fish on a bear hook? That's real fishing.
That's real fishing. That's right. It's real fishing. I mean, it's just insanity. I don't want to go off here because we already passed, but baiting versus what's the difference if I put a food plot out there and hunt over it?
I'll tell you what, we can hit on that next week. Let's talk about that next week. Real hunting.
Absolutely.
Real hunting. That's going to be
we'll
one
go
of our
down
topics.
that rabbit hole next week.
Real hunting.
Anybody, the Midwest BadAss, I think we're going to do that once a month because we want to do a good job and not consume the show with it. Yeah. So if any ideas, we're open to them. Like I said, we got our address up there. Play at gunsand701.com. Jamie at gunsand710.com. Send us any of your ideas you got, and we'll start doing them. So, all right, with that, I suppose we better sign off. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. And again, check us out, friends. Go over to www.gunsand701.com. Everything there now you need, and it'll take you to the podcasts and everything. And we do recommend hitting that iHeart podcast and listen in on Friday.
Yes, sir.
It'll be 7:40 a.m. in the morning. That's early for me, you know.
Yep, 7:40 Central, 8:40 or 7:40 Mountain. 8:40 Central.
On with Mitchell in the morning, and we'll have a little segment there. And we'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to, what do I always say, Jamie?
Keep your powder dry, my friends.
There you go. All right, catch you next week, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.